All right. Hi, Griff. How you doing?
Hi, I'm really well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Who are you in lockdown with at the moment?
Too many people. I'm at home with my family. So I've got my mum, my dad, my two older brothers, and we foster two kids as well.
7 people in total. How are you keeping your sanity? How are you managing that?
You know, we have good days, we have bad days. Generally, I do actually think I'm so blessed because we've got like enough space that everyone can be in their own corner, and I've got this room where I can make music. So yeah, even though it's a lot, I do try and stay grateful because we've got so much. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And that's one point about you actually that stands out. You grew up with a huge family. At one point, there were 15 of you, if I'm not mistaken, in one household.
I don't know where that's come from. There's definitely been a lot of people, as in, because we foster, I reckon we've had over 15 different kids come and live with us over time, if that makes sense. If I added up everyone, I think at the most we probably had like 8 or 9 people living here. So yeah, I'm used to a big family.
And I read that that was actually the real inspiration behind your song Good Stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
I was just wondering how you wrote that song. What's the story and inspiration behind it?
I wrote it as like quite an open heartbreak song, so I think I wanted a lot of people to relate to it. Because I know a lot of people have heard it and been like, you've got the word babe in it. It's not really about foster kids, but like it is. Basically what happens is a lot of the time when I think of lyrics or just have thoughts, I'll like write them down in my notes. And then when I go into a studio session, I've got a nice bank of like inspiration to draw from when I'm writing a song. So when I went in that day to write with my friends David and Jess, I had You Left Me With the Good Stuff written down. And that for me came from a place of like missing the kids that we foster, because a lot of the times these kids come to live with you for like 4 years or 2 years, and then obviously they become like your brother and sister. It can be really hard looking after them and it can be emotional, but I think when they move on to a new placement and we don't get to see them, and when anyone leaves your life, you just always remember like the best memories, and it makes it so much harder. So that's kind of what I wrote it about.
Now, as a very creative person, how are you staying inspired in this time of lockdown? Because
it's hard actually, because I think I've now got so much time to like almost write music, but I feel so uninspired. But I don't know, I'm still trying to like reach out to like producers and musicians that I know to send me things, just so that it's still collaborative, because I think when it's collaborative you can still get inspired. So yeah, that's been how I've been staying inspired, just reaching out to other friends.
Now we have to talk about your style for a minute, because you are just known for it. And of course your signature bubble ponytail.
I know, I don't have it in today, I'm sorry. It does appear.
How did you arrive at that look and decide, okay, this is the look that I'm gonna roll with for now at least? Or
I think I always knew that I wanted like a signature look. I think it just makes it easier for when you're a new artist for people to recognize you. So honestly, I was scrolling on Pinterest for a very long time, and then I found something that was similar, and it was kind of a similar kind of bubble look. And then on the first ever photo shoot I did, I like showed it to the hairstylist and I was like, how do we make this possible? But she actually ended up doing like quite a different version of it, but that's kind of how it's happened, and people seem to really love it, so it's stayed.
Okay, I want to go into this bit which I call love stories with Griff. These can be about anyone or anything that has sort of moved you and shaped you into who you are today. And it talks about 3 different kinds of love. So can you tell us about your first love?
Like, is it cheesy to say my first love was probably like music?
Yeah, sure.
I think I remember just falling in love with like being in church on a Sunday and like realizing the power of music and how it can make you feel and how it can like really transform people. And I think that's what kind of threw me into just like practicing every day and like singing for hours and hours and hours in my room. So I think that was like my first obsession and like love maybe.
Okay, what about your biggest heartbreak?
Yeah, I'd say, like I said, I think I find it easiest to talk about heartbreak in the context of like my foster siblings, if I'm honest. I don't think I've had like crazy like relationship heartbreak just yet, but it definitely is heartbreaking watching like kids that you love so much then go on to somewhere that you have no control over, and it's like they're so young and they're so vulnerable and they've been through so much, and all you can do is hope and pray that like even though we're not looking after them, that like God will in the future years, because we literally have no control over that. So yeah, I think that can be quite heartbreaking.
Yeah. Okay, and the final love that we're going to touch on is unrequited love.
I don't know. I feel like everyone's had a crush that they've never ever pursued because they're like, oh, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
So I think everyone's had like a high school crush where it's like, oh, I wouldn't quite call it love, but it's definitely like, oh, strong feelings that you just never ever quite receive back, you know?
That you're still wishful for till today, maybe?
No. Oh.
All right, and my last question for you is what is the first thing that you're going to do after the quarantine ends?
I think obviously meet up with all your friends and like give them all a big hug. This might be quite bad, but I'm really looking forward to just getting in my car and going and having a drive-through and just going all out and ordering like, just not holding back, you know, like apple pie, milkshake, double cheeseburger, mozzarella sticks, like the whole thing. Like, and I'm just going to sit in my car and eat it.
A freedom party. That's the perfect menu, I think. Cool. And okay, final question. I lied. What can we expect from you next? Musically or video maybe? I don't know. What can you tell us?
So I've got a new single coming out actually in a few weeks. I can't remember the actual date, but it's in May and it's called Forgive Myself and it's a bit more upbeat than Good Stuff. We're still trying to work on a video because obviously we're at home, so let me know if anyone's got cool video ideas to film at home. But yeah, I've got a new single coming out and then hopefully we'll have an EP as well around summertime.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Griff.
Oh, thank you so much.
Stay safe and I can't wait for your next single.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to talk to you.